Next on KIRO 7 at noon, a cable holding the 520 bridge in place wasn't just damaged, it was broken. Now hear who the state wants to track down. Plus, the stranded passengers who are stuck at SeaTac after a strange smell forced their jet to land. I'm Ariana Chemis, and hear just how hot you're about to get in the big weather warm-up. The news at noon is next.
Dedicated, straightforward Seattle news coverage. KIRO 7 Eyewitness News starts right now.
For the first time, you see the frayed and broken cable that was supposed to be holding the busy 520 floating bridge in place, and now there's a new search for who did it. New on KIRO 7 at noon, the state DOT just revealed how it thinks a cable that anchored the 520 bridge was broken. KIRO 7 Eyewitness News reporter Jeff DuBois is at the DOT's maintenance facility in Bellevue.
It was clearly something with a large force.
But the state DOT doesn't know if it was a barge or just a big boat that hit one of the cables that attaches the pontoon to the bottom of the lake. It happened in a restricted zone where boats and ships aren't supposed to go.
But this cable was impacted roughly between 80 and 100 feet out, about roughly 20 feet below waterline.
Crews today said the damage from the broken cable adds up to a whopping $200,000, and the state claimed it will go after whoever broke the cable to pay for it if the culprit is caught. Small businesses impacted by the collapse of the Skagit River Bridge can now file for low-interest disaster loans. The low-interest loans are being offered by the U.S. Small Business Administration in response to this: huge traffic tie-ups following the collapse of I-5 that ended up driving businesses away. The Skagit River Bridge collapsed last month after it was hit by an oversized truck that severed I-5 between Mount Vernon and Burlington. Meantime, drivers could face delays this weekend at the temporary Skagit River Bridge. Crews will close some lanes early tomorrow morning for the first inspections on the bridge put into place last week. Trucks that are too tall continue whacking bridge structures even after all the attention the Skagit Bridge collapse got. Last night, a truck got stuck under Seattle's Alaskan Way viaduct, even though a low clearance sign was posted. The state DOT said the viaduct was not damaged. More than 300 airplane passengers are stuck in Seattle after their flight had to make an emergency landing at SeaTac last night.
I'm hoping that somebody from Lufthansa sees this and says, okay, we got to help these people. We're stranded. Help us, Lufthansa.
As the flight crossed into Idaho, it veered to SeaTac and landed safely in Seattle just before 11:30 last night. KIRO 7 cameras were there when passengers finally got off the plane. They told us the smell came from the kitchen toward the rear of the jet and made 2 flight attendants and 1 passenger sick. A crew checked out the flight but never found the source of the smell. In Seattle's Rainier Valley this morning, KIRO 7 talked to the sharp-eyed hero who may have saved the lives of an entire family. Patrick Carter said she was driving down Martin Luther King Jr. Way when she spotted smoke. She went to the burning house, got out of her car, and jumped into action.
And I went and knocked on the door, and I said, hey, I think there's a fire, you got to get out. And the mom came to the door just shocked, you know, looking like, what? Thanks to Patrick, Seattle firefighters said everyone got out safely. Investigators said they think the fire started in the basement. A Bothell man is expected to be formally charged this afternoon with brutally beating and stabbing his wife to death. KIRO 7 caught up with Alan Smith yesterday outside of the Bothell Police Department following his arrest. Police say the 37-year-old father of 2 murdered his estranged wife Suzanne 4 months ago and left her body in the bathtub of their Bothell home. The couple had been embroiled in a custody dispute. Smith was transferred to the Snohomish County Jail yesterday following 12 hours of questioning. He's expected to make his first court appearance in a few hours. The state legislature is aiming to vote today on a new budget deal that's aimed at heading off a partial government shutdown. Legislatures worked out a compromise yesterday on a $33 billion budget plan ahead of Monday's deadline. We're also tracking the latest move to raise the state gas tax you pay by a dime a gallon over the next year. The gas tax hike is part of a $10 billion transportation bill that the state House of Representatives passed. But the plan is expected to run into trouble in the Republican-controlled state Senate.
Celebrity chef Paula Deen just lost yet another big corporate deal in the fallout over revelations that she used racial slurs in the past. Today, Sears became the latest corporation to cut ties with Deen. Sears said it will phase out sales of her products. Sears joins Walmart, Target, and Home Depot. Those stores are not pulling Deen's products off the shelves yet, but they will say they will sell what is on the shelves and then not order anymore. Later this afternoon, this woman will find out just how much time she'll spend in prison for murdering her ex-boyfriend. Janjira Smith pleaded guilty last month to killing Roger Lewis by putting insecticide in Jägermeister that he later drank. In 2006, she gave the spiked liquor to the victim's new girlfriend, who later served it to him. Today, the judge could sentence Smith to as many as 20 years in prison. The state is fining crabbers $11,000 for the oil spill that hit near Leadbetter Point at the entrance to Willapa Bay back in January. The crabbers' boat ran aground and spilled more than 600 gallons of oil. Prosecutors today accused a woman of trying to frame her estranged husband by sending letters poisoned with ricin to President Obama and others. A federal grand jury in Texas today indicted Shannon Richardson. Richardson is accused of sending threatening letters in May to the president, New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg, and the head of the mayor's gun control group. Her husband filed for divorce this month. A former nurse who was spotted on Swedish hospital security cameras pleaded not guilty to accusations that she stole pain medication from patients. Investigators accused Rachel Nazat of wearing nurses' scrubs. Then she allegedly cut IV lines to patients' arms to steal morphine. The 39-year-old had been fired for stealing pain medication from Swedish back in 2008. Nazat pleaded not guilty this week to 2 counts of property destruction and 1 count of criminal trespass. Shoppers are being warned they may have been exposed to measles last Saturday in Bellingham. Measles were tracked to a person who was at Bellingham's Costco and Bellis Fair Mall on Saturday. The health department warned people who are not vaccinated but may be exposed to check with a doctor. A discrimination lawsuit will return to court this afternoon against a Tri-Cities florist shop that refused flowers for a same-sex wedding. Lawyers for Arlene's Flowers want the judge to withdraw because the judge served as a college trustee along with one of the men who was getting married. The state sued the owner of Arlene's Flowers for discrimination after she turned away a gay couple because of her religious beliefs. She has a broken knee and a broken hip, but wait and hear what happened when a drunken intruder broke into her house. Also, the driver was left paralyzed by a crash, or was he? Get the bizarre twist this story took 7 hours later.